Hi guys, Dave Pinson here. Video for Jesus. I think it's Video for Jesus. I have three now YouTube channels. One of them is called Notions on the Christian Life. It's a brand new thing I just put up. Look it up, Notions on the Christian Life, and it's all about doctrines and different things that aren't really specifically about following Jesus. This channel, Video for Jesus, is specifically about being a disciple of Jesus. And sometimes I don't know until I get done with it what the content exactly is going to be. So I think it's going to be Video for Jesus. Oh, I have another YouTube channel called Philippine Bible Ministry, which is from now on, as of November 14th, whatever the day is. From now on, only thing on there is going to be what happens in the Philippines, about the Philippines, sermons I do in the Philippines, Bible studies, things that happen in the Philippines, actual Philippine Bible Ministry, or maybe the books, the Philippine Bible Ministry books that I publish. So I know, who cares? So today I want to talk about life is a short dash. I like that title. I wasn't even going to name it that, and then it just came to me. Life is a short dash. What does that mean? Well, a dash is a quick run. A dash is like the 50-yard dash, the 100-yard dash, as opposed to the 3,000 meters or whatever it is, the mile, the thing where they circle the thing 8 times or whatever, or the cross country. A marathon. It's not a marathon. It's a dash. Why? Because when you look at a tombstone, it's got the name. Well, we just had a funeral, third funeral since I've been here for 3 years. We just had a funeral, family member, my wife's family. So a lot of people here. It seems like half the village is Bo's family. Anyway, we just had a funeral here, and it just made me think of this. You got the name on the tombstone, and then down below you have a birth date and a death date. In the middle you have a dash. That's what I mean. Life is a dash. Life is short. Life is a breath. Life is our life in this world is not much in the scope of things, and most of us will be forgotten. Once, a few generations from now, most people won't remember me, and I'm okay with that. So life is a dash. So the question is, what do you do with that dash? How do you live your life? If life is temporary, life's a part-time job. Then how do you? What difference does it make, right? So you read the book of Ecclesiastes, and you'll be very depressed. I know a friend of mine says, "Well, that's my favorite book in the Bible." I'm like, that's mostly about life without God, and maybe that's why he liked it, because it was practical. It's like it like shows you how much you need God. But one of my favorite things I've ever done I did it at the VBS when we started our ministry, Film Bible Ministries. We did a vacation Bible down here at the Paradise Resort. We had 200 kids show up, not 200 in one day. I think it was like 70 a day, or for 3 days or something like that. And I did this thing, was part of the days, and I did this thing with the kids. And what I did is I took this huge box, like a shipping box, like we have on LBC here that we ship stuff in from the U.S. My 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 saltine crackers, my chili, I just had sloppy joes this week, so stuff like that we put in a box because it doesn't matter what it weighs, and we just ship it to get some stuff, some things. I'm getting better at really caring about some of that stuff, but anyway. So I take one of these big boxes. It's 3 feet tall. It's like 2 feet wide, right? And I say, "This is your life," right? And then we take the box and we put all kinds of fancy stuff on. This is a really good life. Maybe you're poor. Maybe this you just have a plain box. Maybe you're rich and famous and you're a millionaire and you have all these things and people look up to you. You're a famous athlete. You're a famous singer. You're something important. You're a king. You're blah, blah, blah. And we can put glitter on the box. You can put like beautiful ribbons. The box looks beautiful, right? And then we put the kid in the box, right? We say, "This is your life, and this is it." And then I say this. I say, "Now look out here. Look out here at the ocean." Because we were at this place, and there's a big glass window, and there's the ocean. Look out here at the ocean. See the ocean, guys? So this box is your life. And see the ocean out there? And then even more than the ocean, go past the ocean, the whole planet. And then go past the planet. Look at the stars. Look at the whole universe. See how big it is? And this is your life. Your life is a dash. Your life is just this little thing, right? Huh? Your life is pretty insignificant, right? But even though it's fancy and it's all dressed up, or you could be poor and just have a plain box. I don't know. And then I have the kid get out of the box, and then I say, but on the end of the day, on the judgment day, if you don't give your life to Christ, right? Because I say, see this big universe? That's eternity. That's eternity out there, this big universe, and this is your life, your little life here, your little dash, as opposed to eternity, right? And then here's eternity, and over here is this lake full of fire. Some people call it hell. And then I take the box and I go, and if you don't belong to Jesus, and I just throw the box. No, this the kid's not in it at this point, and I just throw the box and say, "There's your life," and there it is. Now it's got burned up. Right. So keep your mind on Jesus. Keep your heart on eternity. Because he says you will have abundant life. Abundant life is not that dash. That dash is not abundant life. That dash is the life in this world, right? Abundant life is in his will. You know, those who love Jesus do what he says. If you don't love him, you're cursed. You're going to be thrown into that lake of fire to your little life. It doesn't matter how great or small it was. It's all insignificant. Whereas even the smallest, plainest box of life, who gave themselves to the Lord, it says the last shall be first. So that box becomes this beautiful mansion. Let's say this beautiful mansion. You know, store up treasures in heaven, right? So what are you going to do with your dash? How are you going to live your life? And so for me, I'll just close with this. Towards the end of my life, well, not the end of my life. I don't know how long I'm going to live. My wife wants me to live a long time. So let's say 95, 97. I don't know. But as I was 60 years old, and 63, 60, you know, say around that time, 64 maybe. All of a sudden, I had this realization that I'd be retiring soon. I had this realization that as a believer, because I always had this hunch, I always had this thing in me, this little seed in me that was like itching to get out, saying there's more to the Christian life than going to church and praying and doing what you're doing, David. This is good what you're doing. You go to church, you do Bible. Sometimes I would lead Bible studies and I would do these things and start writing books. But there's more to life than that. There's more to the Christian life. And all of a sudden I was not all of a sudden. One day I had this epiphany of during prayer or whatever. It's like I'm going to sell everything I have, go to the Philippines, and I'm going to give my life to make disciples for Christ. I'm going to give my life to Jesus 100%. I'm not going to play. I'm not playing halfway anymore. I'm not that guy who just sits in the pews and gives money here and there and says, well, I'm just a sinner and just hanging out. No, I'm going to live my life for Jesus. Try to. I'm going to have my dash count for Christ. So dash for Christ. I could call it this dash for Jesus. So that's all I got to say about that, guys. Live your life in such a way that it reflects on Christ, and people look at your life and say, that man loved Jesus. That's what do they want? What do you want people to remember you by? I want them to remember that I showed the love of Christ to everyone. And that's what I want to live by, and that's what I am, and that's what I live for, and that's I want my dash to count. God bless you guys. Ta ta for now.